All right, Albert, I'm recording it for to the computer.
Okay, good.
And because we also got prayer meeting tonight too, so. All right, everyone, let us pray. Lord God, as we are here we're always here for an awesome purpose, and we pray, Lord, that we will keep our minds and hearts fixed on you. We thank you, Lord, that we can gather together in the midst of all that's going on. We pray, Lord, that in the beautiful, beautiful day you've given us, let us rejoice and be glad in it, and be thankful for all that you provide to us as we now share through the power of your Holy Spirit, one with another. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys, the first paragraph, I'm going to read my long paragraph, which actually was pulled from this past Sunday sermon. We have some challenges as we move through this pandemic. Where do we worship? How do we worship? Do we worship? That's a good one. You may disagree with this way or that way, including what we're talking about tonight. That's fine. But how you deal with the changes that come with the challenges will reveal, as James would say, if you are practicing bitter envy and selfish ambition, or being, also as James would say, pure, peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy, without a trace of partiality or hypocrisy. Now, I should have offered a prayer then. So this is when, of course, the ones who come to these meetings are the ones that are the doers and the vision casters, and the ones who want to move things on, move things forward. We do have Joan, I think, is up at the other house, I think. I'm not sure. And Lars is helping family just this very afternoon. So that's most of the people on the list. Most everybody else is here. So, but I didn't want to make this a bunch of traditional reports, but because of the report for annual conference, which just happened last week, I believe that it is usually kind of sort of required. A printed version, I think, is for the annual booklet. But so Betty, in lieu of Bob Jenkins is our lay member to annual conference. Betty is the reserved lay member this year online. Betty and I attended. And so Betty, we offer your.
Well, I wrote out a report which Margie says to put in the newsletter, but you can have a copy if you want to read it. Mainly, I mentioned that I've been in the Methodist Church, United Methodist Church, over 40 years. I've worked in teaching, music, and leadership. And after 40 years in this basic journey, I was kind of wondering how we were going to have a conference, because I've enjoyed conferences I've gone to, because the camaraderie, the prayer sharing, meals, discussions, and voting, and seeing the ordination ceremonies and retirement tributes. And I mentioned my memorable moment was when, before leaving New York, my retiring minister and I served communion together at a conference, and it was a wonderful experience to be at a conference. And the conference, of course, we had to do it different via Zoom, and Pastor Scholl, our Bishop Scholl, gave a very meaningful introduction, and I thought he set the tone of the conference with that, because most of the rest of the conference was a lot of dysfunctional stuff. And he did say that church attendance is not up, and that he feels the future of the church is more virtual. And he said, please increase, if you can, the minister's salary, because they're going to be working double time in the future. And for the 4 hours Monday, and it turned out to be 6 hours on Tuesday, I Zoomed and I voted with most of the majority. There were very few things that were in dispute as far as I was concerned. The only thing that I questioned, and a lot of other people questioned, is a lot of the budget seemed very optimistic because of these times. As they say, it seemed like money was taken from rainy day funds, and you know what they say, what happens when it rains another day, right? And so who knows what is going to happen in the future with our budget. But budgets are always sort of pie in the sky kind of things, so we'll see. That's all I can say.
Okay, very good. May I or not?
Yeah.
I don't want to pull a Mark Meadows, if you saw him yesterday when he pulled his mask down and the reporter said no, and then he says, well, I'm not giving any I'm not talking to the media. But is it okay with, I need 100% acceptance. Okay. Pardon?
You're plenty away.
Well, I'm just, yeah, but I spit, and she can't see me. So the main reason of this meeting, two, but the main one is the next steps regarding going next door. As far as on a Sunday morning, like what we're doing here, not multiple meetings of this or that or the other thing, not using the library. Children we could talk about. I know Lynn had mentioned that, I think it was Babs's, I think it was Babs, we thought bringing the grandchildren, and would there be something for them to do? And Lynn mentioned about, taking them and doing a little kids project here. But for now, we're talking about moving next door, really opening the building, taking those stickers that I had to put up in March, closing the building. Like, man, what a think that was. So, and I'm getting some input from Joan and Margie and some others, which is fairly what we already know. If we move over, there has to be protocols, which I think we're doing okay. There's some hiccups, kind of like this, except with people next to each other. But it hasn't been that bad, the way I understand it. And Betty probably have better insight, Betty and Joan, because they're at the door, and I'm up here doing my thing. But masks have to be properly worn. I say properly. I could have made it longer. Properly, entry to exit. Okay, that and I know there's some issues going on here, and also, and I've seen this. And this doesn't work. Okay, the nose. Some of us talk through our nose. And I say this because I rejoined. I know you can't tell, but I rejoined Planet Fitness again, and there's no enforcement of masks. They're wearing masks, but kind of, sort of, and it's not really enforced. But most people comply. But we need to comply, and so and also single versus multiple entry exit. People come in the main door, they leave the main door. If there is a wheelchair, okay, that's special circumstance. But we don't need people coming in this way and up. So pick one door and go through it, in and out. That's just, and I think we can do that. The whole distancing, somebody had joked back in July that if we met next door, everybody who comes can have their own pew. Okay, I wish that weren't the case, but that's what it is. But we can space out. I think we're doing okay. Some got sick, but we grouped in the 2s and 3s and the family members sitting together. I'd say it's been 3 months now. So I think we had a good dress rehearsal, but I haven't voted or anything. I'm just telling you what needs to be done. Members of the same household can sit together. Ventilation. Now, trustees meeting, it was discussed about, and maybe one of the trustees can talk about this, about what do we have here with the doors open, temperature's going to get cooler, what do we do? Fan's been great. Heat is available in this building, in this room. The heat can be used. Next door, the heat also is sufficient. The furnace is kind of sort of working. And so we can handle heat. What I learned in the trustees meeting, I'm here because Tom and Al are here. At the trustees meeting, the ventilation or the airflow is comparable in the 2 buildings with the fans or windows or what have you. And did I catch that right somewhat? Okay, I'm sorry, and Barb is trustee.
Doesn't the other one have a little more airflow? If the doors are closed in here, the other one could have more flow. That's why it came up initially, because this room's going to get cold.
Yes.
You can't, when it's 30 degrees out.
No, but there is heat in this building.
I understand,
Okay.
but if you keep these doors open, that air blowing through here is going to be frozen. With the door shut here or the door shut there, there's more air.
Oh, okay.
There.
I get, okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. And see, normally I would know that, I guess, was that because of the high ceiling or just what's shape of the room?
Because this is a Howard baseboard system, and that's a hot air system.
There's
Oh,
actually
so
air blowing.
Okay, so, okay.
There's no air blowing here.
Okay,
It's just heat.
it's electric heat.
It's baseboard.
I mean,
So it
gas.
just comes out of these baseboards. There's
Okay.
no fan blowing. There's no air.
All right. See, that's just tell you what, I don't, I prefer to be more of a staff parish person than
It's a
trustee.
hot air system, so it's
Yeah.
blowing. the air.
Okay. So, all right, so I know that's a concern, the ventilation and airflow. inside structure. Okay. Bathroom usage, like here, we tell people generally only meeting for about 45 minutes. If you can go at home, go at home. These bathrooms are available, obviously. Next door, you know, some people can be in and out. So we have to talk about how that is handled. And then number F, 2F, which actually Joan Johnson mentioned this, is there needs to be an implementation leader. This is the way she called it, which is, you know, somebody that's not me, obviously. It can't be me because I'm already jumping around doing stuff. And Sunday mornings, I'm kind of maxed out as it is. But we need one person who actually will spearhead this whole A, B, C, D, and E kind of thing. And that's what we need. And doesn't have to be tonight, but you have to, well, one person has to be in place to take charge of this. And that includes getting either that person and an usher or two other people to be the masked police, if you will, just because we're trying to stay safe. And that sounds harsh, but that's really what it is. And that's why I asked permission about this, because I'm not even sure about having this on, because some people, I know they're also, I've heard, though nobody's actually come to me directly, I hear things from like you people, you folks, of people who have stayed away from this room because it's not next door. So that I don't understand, but that's, but I want people to stay safe. Some people are comfortable watching online. I get all that. And I'm engaging with a lot of people online, so that's pretty neat too. But that's what we have there. That's our, yes.
What do we have to do to sanitize the sanctuary, or because it's been not been used as a...
Okay, yeah. I also put that in for the other groups. Is that Joan had also mentioned, being chair of staff parish, of Dave Harrison's, the custodian's concerns also have to be for outside groups coming in, but at the same time of before actually going in. So that's an issue there about what kind of cleaning needs done beforehand.
Some churches have actually hired services to come in.
Oh, I know. And I've talked to someone in this, in this county, another church, and they have one of those foggers, but they say it's extremely expensive.
Yeah.
But I think they said they had one generous person footed the bill for the fogger, and that apparently they go through a bunch of this stuff because it's a large facility. But he says, you know, that's what they have one service in one area, one service in another, but they still do the fogging. So
Still have to remove all the hymnals.
that's the other issue. Yeah, I mean that's they talk about removing hymnals, pencils, still not have paper bulletins. You know, all that.
And the cushions.
I don't know. Yeah, I think.
So, Patty, just so we're clear, does anybody clean after every Sunday here? Does he come in?
I think he moms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because what was discussed initially, way back when, if a room is left vacant for that period of time, the virus isn't going to
That's
still
what I
be on.
figured, you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's exactly the point.
Or maybe
There's
general
no
dusting or
difference
something.
there than it is here.
So no hymnals or paper.
Right, you can remove the books if we feel necessary.
You know, I think it's more of, you know, people are starting to touch things
Right.
and
It's perception.
yeah, perception, exactly. And that's what a lot of this has come up in the Zoom meetings I've had with the conference and everything and other groups. It's that whole perception is the big thing. And we talked about that the other night too with trustees. And and generally we're not using the hymnals if we put stuff up on the screen. So
we could just remove that.
we remove the hymnals
Put lots of them and put them away for now.
and the Bibles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Anything that's in the holders
yes.
can come out. It's no big
Yeah.
deal.
I can
And
do that. That's an
but there
easy
needs to be, as far as before I can't say before we make the decision to move over, we can have like a tentative, say it's a good idea now to at some point within the next few weeks to move over next door, but we need to have a key person to run that whole transition, not pass.
Who does it here? Who does it for this room?
Just have a contact
I do.
person.
Well, I do in large scale. As
Okay.
far,
So they're the ones that make sure that this room is is organized. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean,
Your
I will come in here, I'll come here on Saturday.
Your implementation leader. Who is the implementation leader for this building?
Well, Betty and Joan kind of tag team, but Betty, yeah.
I was just curious. I was just curious.
Yes,
So are those the same people that, I mean, do we need to look for a new one, or are they the same people that will be doing it over there?
that I don't know. And I'm not sure if, I know both Joan and Stuart, you know, with the whole, the safety issue. I don't know their views. I know Joan has been doing the temperature checks and the mask checks, and Betty's been keeping track of pretty much everything else on the table over here. So, but again, somebody would have, and then somebody would actually, you know, and be nice about it, would actually need to run with it. Because, you know, yes, I'm the pastor of the church and overseeing this as the superintendent would say, I'm the chief executive officer or chief administrative officer, I think the book of discipline said.
The same system we have here, just a contact person?
Well, I think of just, it's different space.
Well, it's still one entrance.
Oh, entrance, yes, but I'm also thinking about, you had the mask on, so I'm sorry, I didn't get everything. One leader so that takes a weight off of me. Because then I'll feel guilty about it. Yes, sir.
I think Bowen is good to help.
Well, okay, I mean, he might,
He's done it for years,
yes.
so I think that he could oversee it. I would be glad to help him.
Yeah. Well, then, would you be willing to talk to Boo? Because I you know, I don't want to. It's one of those voluntold things. I don't like really bringing up other people who aren't present. And he wasn't, you know, he's not part of this meeting anyway. But as far as an usher, I mean, he's an usher. I mean, he's very good at that. So I mean, there's a possibility. But the implementation leader, I think, would also choose the people, you know, in consultation. So that's the idea with that. How about I mean, I'm not big on the whole voting thing. I'm more of the consensus taker of what. Give me speak. How about some ideas of this list or your own list or your other concerns, questions that you have?
Can I ask real quick first, is everybody in agreement that we're all moving over there now? This is what we're definitely doing, right?
No,
Is anybody here
Oh, here.
against that idea?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking for a conversation.
Is
I don't
anyone
know how
against
you
the
all
idea
feel.
of moving over?
I think it's a question of when.
Okay. I'm just curious where we were
No,
going.
that's why I'm asking for input. I want to know, you know, where's this conversation going to go? Does this interest you? And did you show up because you're a member of the board, or do you show up also because you're interested in moving next door or not moving next door? So how about, I mean, I'm not going to take silence as a no or as a yes. I would like to know how y'all feel.
Well, I think basically what you implemented for this facility to come into here, and generally the concepts are going to be moved right over to the sanctuary.
Yes. No,
You know, yes, so a tweak here, tweak there, but the concepts are going to be the same. You know, you have the cleaners in the bathroom so that people can, you know, just like they did here, you can signs over there so they use the restroom, they have to use the restroom. Okay, clean the seat, you know, just like they did here.
let me push a little bit. Then what is the reason why we didn't start over there? Just general idea. Why didn't we start over there?
People were, at that time, there was a lot of concern about the surface areas.
Okay.
The wood and the material
Okay.
and all that stuff. Since then, a lot of that has changed.
Right.
Just throwing it out there, I work in a building with 200 people. It's a 3-story building, 5 days a week in person. The kids use the bathroom all day long. I use the same bathroom that the kids use. We all have books, we all have pencils, we all have crayons. I'm telling you right now, not every single one of those pencils gets cleaned every day.
I'm sure.
So we use scissors, glue sticks. I mean, the things that 6-year-olds touch, I couldn't even name them all. It's a million things a day. They touch themselves, they touch each other, they touch me, they touch everything. The desks get wiped down every night, and like the door handles, and the janitor cleans the bathroom. I mean, the janitor's wearing a mask and gloves and cleans the bathroom, just like last year, the janitor cleaned the bathroom every single day. We don't go in after I have a bathroom right in my classroom. I don't go in there after every single kid uses the bathroom and clean the bathroom. They use it, they probably all use it 4 or 5 times a day, and I use it a couple times a day. And it gets cleaned once at night. I think the whole like health department, CDC guidelines have changed on surface areas. Yes, you should wipe something down or sanitize your hands, but it's not what it was back in
Okay.
May when we thought we had to use these, chemicals that were gonna damage everything.
Right.
So
I
I
agree.
think we understand that now, like you're saying, if a week goes by in between uses, people have to sanitize their hands on the way in, and then whatever gets touched in a week's time is done. I mean, like I'm saying,
And-
there's
and
only
that's-
12 hours between me leaving the building and coming in the building the next day, and it's not an issue anymore, so.
And just to go back to what I was saying about the bathroom, having the stuff in the bathroom, in my opinion, is perception. It doesn't mean everybody's gonna use it, but if somebody wants to, before they sit in the toilet, wipe it, they have the option. That's all, as far as that part of it goes. But I couldn't agree more. I work at a hotel, I've had 2,500 customers, families, probably 10,000 people, 30 employees. Nobody got anything, and we touched everything. Yes, we were careful. We wore masks.
So yeah, I'm not saying don't be careful,
No, no,
yeah,
no.
let's be careful, but we don't need, it's not the same.
Right.
Things have changed.
The
since
touch is
this-
not as big of a
Yes.
CDC change.
And I think also in the beginning, when we first made the decisions and all, some of it, not everybody agreed upon at that point in time. Everybody had their own feelings about what we needed to do, but some of it was just for the comfort of a lot of people. It was the matter of, we need to get the doors open as fast as we could, and what was the easiest place to clean and change things and
And we did have airflow in
this
here,
place was the best way for
which
that
you don't have over there
at that time.
at that.
Pastor Glenn,
It was good for the time period.
Margie?
can you turn me a little bit to see Tom and Shondi, because I can't hear them.
Okay, well, you're probably not
You
gonna,
can hear me?
it's the
I
mic.
can't hear you guys.
This is the mic here, so, okay.
Not even your kids,
She
I
says
heard.
you're the greatest secretary and treasurer in the world.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you heard her. Yeah, okay. All right, so, Betty, thank you for coming in. And
My concern not only was when to open, but also, the first Sunday in November is daylight savings time.
Yes.
That always is a problem. So I thought sometime in November we should
Yes, okay.
change it.
I don't know, maybe, I don't know why we couldn't do it before.
Come here, baby. Come here.
We just have one more,
Come here, Bill.
and then we will go.
Come here.
Transition week, that's just the thing, it's like a transition week, so to speak.
You ladies, Janice or Mary Lou, you,
I think,
okay, all right. Lars, did say that he's got some family engagement this afternoon and tonight, and, but he did say he is in favor of going next door, so I just want to let you know what he has told me.
We only have one Sunday before November.
Okay, so you all want to jump on this fairly quickly?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it doesn't matter what, I mean, I'm just thinking of putting money in. So, all right, so we need, okay, I'm gonna do the whole vote thing anyway. So this Sunday is what, the 18th? So you're looking at moving on the 25th. So,
I don't know, what do you guys think, that, the week after, whatever, I mean.
What are we waiting for?
Right,
Okay.
There really is no reason.
I just don't want,
It's
Okay.
not shit.
all right,
I
but,
want everybody to agree, that's all.
but, so we can say October 25th, and we'll do the whole motion thing and all that. We can do the October 25th thing, but we need a take charge person. Preferably before we take a vote.
And, yeah.
You want to call somebody now, call a, what do
I
they
think
call
it's
it, call
gonna
a
be
friend?
hard to ask somebody to volunteer for that position every week, all the time. And only because, I'd be happy to help out and step in once in a while and be that person,
Okay,
but we're going away the month of November, so I'm not available that month, so,
how about
you can't
this?
always guarantee you're gonna be here.
As an administrative board, can we as a board make a commitment that one person would be in charge each week? Now, I'm not saying one of us, but because this is something that's very easy to slide. Whereas, we talk about greeting people at the door, and actually they say that newcomers' perception of a church begins where? In the parking lot. I mean, that's maybe you've seen that. Maybe you've been to some other churches, small or large. They actually have people in the parking lot that greet people. I tried that once or twice when I was here, when I didn't have a commitment right at the beginning of the worship service. And but can we make that, a commitment to say, if we want this to work, and if we vote in favor of doing this, especially on the 25th, can we commit to, that one person, at least for that first Sunday, to make a commitment to be that leader, and to come up with a Bob or a Boo Bob or a Boo, I like that. Because we will need, and Sunday we can mention it, and it's only been a few people that, it's been hit and miss as far as masks go. But
so what exactly are we thinking as far as I haven't been here to work. So what are we looking for as the system?
Margie, would this mean we're going to phase 4 in our plan?
No, this is basically
Phase 2 to 3.
phase 3.
Okay.
Um,
Phase 3 would be transitioning from this building to next door for
this
work.
is part of phase 3.
So,
So we would be needing to section off certain pews, I would assume. Every other pew or every third pew. And then inside the pew, people need to be separated unless they're with a family. It's really not.
if you find a way to have people 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart.
Right. So based on my friends that go to the other churches, they actually have every third pew.
Okay.
And then within the pew, it's usable. There's 2 sides. As long as there's not 2 families of 4. I mean, you can put a couple on each side because that's more than 6 feet.
Okay.
But it's each pew is going to be a different scenario. You have to know who's going in the pew. If I was 5 people, then I'm only 1 pew.
And the ushers also are to police that, meaning to check that people are, or encourage people, maybe you could sit here or sit here, but to be proactive, not reactive. And that, I know that's an issue. And some people are great being the policeman, the policewoman. Other people are like, but we need some, and I think if we get a good start, especially for the first few weeks, then without getting lax, but until this whole vaccine comes out. So that's the importance of the implementation leader, for whatever term you want to call it. But to have a key person who will make sure that this transition goes as
So really,
that's
it's just a
Christ
matter of
on,
seating.
really.
It's just, am I just trying to clarify what we want that person to do?
Yes.
It's just a matter of making sure that masks are on.
Yes.
And that seating is done
Seating.
properly.
Yes.
Okay.
And bathrooms, or working with Dave to make sure.
Well, that would be done beforehand.
But telling people about, you can have instruction about use of bathrooms as far as, it's supposed to be one person in, one person out kind of thing. It's not.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, I'm not telling anybody how to use the bathroom.
Okay.
They want to go in, they're going to go in. I think we're all clear on how to use the bathroom.
Okay. All right.
That's my opinion. I'm sorry. That's just me.
Okay. Well, then okay. But the main thing is.
Was that
I can tell you that if I go to a restaurant or a store and I need to use the bathroom, I don't.
There's no one telling you. There's nobody telling you how to use the bathroom there either.
Oh, all right.
I think if you have a sign in there, like we do here, and Clorox wipes, everybody knows how to use them.
I think kind of like what Amanda was saying, back in July when we were setting up the date, that was an issue because of the services and all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, but we
Pastor Glenn?
need masks and distancing. Yes, Margie.
I also have those 4 wall mount sanitizing units that could be put up over in the church.
Okay.
They're no touch, but they refill with the gel we already have.
Okay.
So they're in my office in a box.
Okay. Are you on louder? All right.
They actually have
She's-
4
She's,
wall-mounted hand sanitizers.
Yeah, we have 4 of those for the
oh, wait,
sanctuary.
sorry, I turned you off.
They have them put.
Okay, yeah, so you heard what, okay. So, the plan is that we will transition over for Sunday morning worship at 9:15 on beginning Sunday, October 25th, 2020. Okay, let's see, we have a motion. Okay, Shandi makes a motion, that, you heard what I said? I don't know if you're not
Yes.
right, okay, all right.
I guess my question is, how can we make that commitment unless we have some volunteers?
That's it. Well, I'm saying if we can make a commitment as a board that it will happen. I know that's kind of light, but
Yeah, it needs to be on the condition that we have
yeah, I
the
understand.
ushers in place that we need.
Okay, so on the condition that we have the, or else we push it a week. But I don't want to do that.
Are you friendly with Abu? Are you able to contact them or?
I'm gonna get in touch with Paul, and then, both of us will meet with the pastor, find out exactly what our duties are.
Well,
Okay,
That's why I
all
wanted
right.
to clarify what the duties were.
Yes.
To
What's being said?
I don't know.
But, Bob is going to contact Boo,
Okay,
and together they will, meet with me, and we'll talk about what is all required.
okay, good.
Okay?
Or she wants to be.
I'd be happy to be in on that if you want me to by Zoom.
By Zoom, okay. When's your surgery again? Thanksgiving?
November 20th.
November 20th, all right. So the motion is, beginning October 25th, 2020, that we will meet, yes, Betty?
Need a second?
Okay, I already made the motion, right, all right, so Shandi first, yeah, second, okay, Betty. All right, we've had discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, so it's a unanimous, and, so, okay, amen? Somebody, yes? Oh, the second item is outside groups. We've had, I know the Scouts, Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts have reached out to me. The National Alliance for Mental Illness has reached out to me. He's also my car insurance guy. And he's also a member of St. Peter's up in Ocean City. And they're starting to ask. Basic Blessings is inside group, but we're also hashed out some ideas about what to do when it gets cold. But that's an inside group. The Good News Junction, that is inside group. What are some of the other groups that we have? Mainly it's the Scouts.
NAMI.
Okay. So,
NAMI,
yes, I mentioned that. Okay.
Easter Seals.
Well, yeah, oh yeah, Easter Seals. I don't know what they're doing, but those of so the same thing with the mask and distance, entry exit bathroom, and the point that Margie made at an earlier time was that she needs to be notified of the day, time, and place of when the building is being used, so that Dave can be told, because Dave doesn't clean when people are in the building for safety and he doesn't want to come in and be surprised when he wants to clean. And so, what are your general views on outside groups?
I mean, we barely have any
Delay. Pardon?
We are basically only 1 week into our internal groups meeting.
Yes. Okay.
So I personally don't feel that we're ready for that, but
All right.
that's up to the church.
All right. She says that. She says we've only been like a week or two into the internal groups meeting, tabernacle groups meeting here, that we should delay the outside groups. What's your general, Amanda?
How many rooms did the Boy Scouts use again?
That's a good
And then they use
question.
this
Boy
room.
Scouts just here. Boy
They don't
Scouts.
use any other room than Michael Hall.
The boys, because the leaders also meet in my hall. They have used the Brown Room, but a lot of times Cub Scouts will use the Brown Room. Boy Scouts usually remain in here with the leaders.
So on the night that that particular troop is here,
Yes.
how many rooms do they use?
Troop 87. They will
Troop
use this
87.
room Once in a while, they will use the brown room. But they can also be told to stay here. That's the Boy Scouts, which are fewer in number than the Cub Scouts. Cub Scouts are, yes?
I
Marge-
know Shandi's group is very small, but what about the Boy Scouts? I mean, there's a lot of them. I'm just wondering about distancing and,
Okay, well, she doesn't, yeah. She says
Um,
Shandi's group is a meeting.
okay, but what if the Boy Scouts? I mean, we're only allowed to have so many people in
Yes,
the room, 25%.
which we have not, even with current numbers, the Boy Scouts have not met that number. So maybe the Pine Reserve, but not, that's a special event. But, so Boy Scout, it's the Cub Scouts with, the Cub Scouts will use other rooms. So,
Everything they use is down the steps, right? They don't use anything above the steps, they don't use.
no, they use the blue room,
They use-
but blue room is kind of like the basic blessings room now. And it's junction, so mainly it would just be the brown room that they could use.
So they're only using the brown room, the bathroom, and the. They're not using anything up the steps.
And we'll lock that door. So, other, Amanda?
I just think, like any other time, we have moved facility. And then it's not like one of us is here policing them the whole time that they're here. I just think like anything else, we would say, these are our rules, these are our guidelines, like in our building use or our facilities use. This is the number of people you're allowed to have, please wear masks, please do this. And then, you know, we really can't, well, I guess we could, but I don't really think we need to be here watching each group the entire time. That's up to whoever's agreeing to use our building. That group is then in charge of following the rules that we've set up for them. Yeah,
And they've always proved responsible.
I think so, and if there's an issue, then they don't get to use the building anymore. But I don't really think we need to, you know, overdo it or take it upon ourselves, you know, to be watching every single thing they do. I mean, if internal groups are using it, those rules would also apply to external groups, and there might be other rules too. But once we have them set up, they're presented, they agree to it, we agree to it. And story, like, I think that alleviates, I could be wrong on this, but I think that alleviates our responsibility in what they do.
I think
That
that if you really need to, we can have them sign a.
Well, that's the issue, whole harmless clause. Joan has brought that up.
So you have that, and then you also have to remember that groups like the Boy Scouts, and I'm sure Easter Seals has the same things in place, they all have these very strict rules that they have to abide by, that they're overseen by other people above them that are much more bigger consequences than we would give them.
Boy Scouts, I get it.
Yeah.
Cub Scouts, I don't know, because the leadership has been such turnover in the Cub Scouts, and I've seen them be lax on other things. So that's why, that's mine. Boy Scouts, Tom Conrad, and, you know, but if we open up the one, we probably have to open it.
Well, does the one meet separate from the other?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, well, then they were actually using the same room, same night.
Oh, it is, but so it's the same night?
Yes, the Cub Scouts meet at around 6 and Boy Scouts meet around 7. Yeah, think about that, yeah. So that's the other issue of using the same room, one after the other.
Well, you're giving the approval to, we would be giving the approval to the PAC 87. And let that, it's, if they're gonna meet at 6 and 7 and 7 and 8, that's their responsibility again, you know, as far as what it's always been.
Okay, no, I just know that when we set up worship, we said, we're gonna be here 45 minutes, and then one was gonna be touched for a week,
Yes,
okay? But if they're using it for, and of course now we got Sunday school going. But, if they're using it, say they come in at 5:30, and maybe the Boy Scouts leave 8:30. Then we're talking about 3 hours using the one room. So there's that, you know, I'm just going by what we're talking about for July, and now we're talking about for October.
does there have to be, is there supposed to be a time limit? And I don't know the answer to that.
Well, initially, Margie, when the phase 2 to phase 3, did we say anything about using a room for a certain amount of time?
No, but I know there's there's a limit because there was for the church service. Should be like 30, 40 minutes, they were saying.
Well, that was, how about now though? Is that
Yeah, has
still-
anything changed since then as far as the
I
long?
haven't heard anything change since then. So I would say max of an hour
Yeah,
at the most.
And you're talking about once a week or once a day? I mean, leave
Well,
the room
You
idle for a
have
whole
to give
week?
it time to air out. I mean, and for the germs to die. So I don't know, whatever that is.
Well, so the only thing I'm gonna say is that there's no limitations when you go sit in a restaurant.
I mean, it's gonna come down to, it depends on, are we trusting everyone to sanitize their own area? Or I'm sure, I think as a church, we still have to have Dave, it's still gonna make him do extra work,
For what?
I mean, that's part of his job. That's okay.
For when?
When would be the extra work? You mean after Thursday Scouts or?
With other groups coming in, whatever they are. I mean, because you can say you have to sanitize your own area. How do we really know they're doing it properly? We have to take some responsibility as a church to make sure.
Right, but we're still going back to the same thing of if they meet on Thursday and no one else comes in here for, what's the next group after Thursday?
Yeah, but she's saying that use of the room should be limited to an hour.
But for what reason? I guess that's what I don't
Oh,
understand.
because I think initially we had said that using the room for 45 minutes to an hour and then let the room sit, because longer than an hour, I guess particles would be.
Oh, just because people in here breathing and.
Something like that, yeah.
So we won't be using the room.
No, but the scouts are using it for, say, 3 hours on Thursday night.
We won't be using the room.
This week.
The church won't be using the room.
Okay.
I thought when we were having church services, it was mainly because we were trying to protect our own members.
Yes.
We were trying to protect our members who were in their 90s. We were trying to protect our members who were 100 years old. We're trying to keep no germs in the area where they're going to come in and try to keep them safe so they feel safe coming into church. Now, if they're not coming into this building because we're meeting in the other building, how are they going to come in contact with germs?
Oh.
And how are we going to make it unsafe for our own members?
Okay, I think we're also, though, being concerned about anybody who's using the facility.
Well, the people that are
Doesn't
using-
classify as our members, but
The
we are
people-
responsible for the
The
safety.
people who are using this facility, they know what our rules are, as well as they know what the rules of their group are.
Okay.
And they should be following those rules. Now, right now, there are Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts meeting in West Cape May. They're following the Boy Scouts rules and the Cub Scouts rules, and that's absolutely fine. And I don't see why if they were here, it would be any different. And I don't feel if Manny or whoever wants to use the building, or whoever used the building before comes and says, oh, well, we know that the scouts are using the building, so the scouts have germs, and we don't want the scouts germs, so we're not going to come and use the building. Well, that's fine. But if they say, oh, well, that's fine, we don't care, the scouts are using the building on Thursday and we're using it on Tuesday, that's all right with us, then what difference does it make? Because we're still trying to keep our members safe. We want our members to be safe. We want our members to feel safe coming to church. But if we're not really using this building that much anymore, and we're meeting in the church, and we're keeping our members safe in the church and not having these other people come into our building where our members are, what difference does it make?
Okay. Other thoughts? That outside groups?
Contact the scouts, see whether they're meeting someplace else.
Well, I mean, we have to decide if the building is available to the groups. Then they would be notified to say, we voted and the tabernacle is opening up. Then, but that would be after the decision.
I think one of the things we have to remember is our Boy Scouts have been here for
Yeah, forever.
they've been here since I was a kid. Like, I remember them always being here when I was little. They're a huge asset to us. They're a huge welcome. and help to our,
Okay.
our church here. If they're unable to use our facility, I worry they will go somewhere else. Because many facilities are opening up their doors to those groups because they know that they are responsible and they have very, especially because they're dealing with youth. You're talking about an organization that's dealing with youth, has very strict guidelines they have to abide by. And I think that one of the things we're trying to delve into is we're trying to control another organization, another group. We can't do that. No. We can only control us. When those people walk in that door, we have them on the harmless clause and everything else. And if we want to have Dave come in and clean the room 3 days later because it makes us feel better, then that's our choice. That's something we decide upon ourselves. But I don't see any reason why they can't come. You're talking about one group. You're talking about, I don't know how often the Easter Seals comes in.
Used to be once weekly.
So if we tell the Boy Scouts they can only use Michael Hall, they can't use the other room. We tell the Easter Seals they can only use that room, they can't use Michael Hall. Then we're giving them the ability to have our facility without having, there's no reason the Boy Scouts or the Cub Scouts have to go to another room. They can come in here.
There's enough chairs there, you can sit there.
There's enough chairs to come in here and use that facility for that time period. The Boy Scouts come in, they have their hour in here and they leave. The Cub Scouts come in and they have their hour in here and then they leave. You know, it's the same thing as when we use our church service for an hour and then we have Sunday school right after that for an hour. Not really that much of a difference. Talk about 2 hours.
Okay, all right.
That's just my opinion. I'm sorry.
No, opinion is what we want. Betty?
Well, what groups have been using the church?
What?
What groups other than Scouts?
Scouts, the National Alliance for Mental Illness, they meet weekly. Sometimes they might have 2 groups, but I don't think they have that many people. The Easter Seals, okay, they've been using the Brown Room, but they can, depending on number, before all this happened, they could pack that room. Because vast majority are in wheelchairs,
Do
so.
they pay us anything for use? room?
Do what?
Do they pay us?
Oh, I don't think so. Does Easter Seals pay anything?
No,
No, I don't, I think it's more of they're just looking for-
the only one that does is NAMI.
I think we are limited to just Scouts for now.
Okay, Bob suggested limiting it to the Scouts.
Yeah, I agree. And see how it goes.
Is that, okay, so, all right.
Basic blessings.
Well, that's an inside group.
It's Easter
Yeah,
Seals.
but they haven't been inside.
No, but I meant it's an internal group is what I meant to say.
Yeah, but can we allow them in? Internal use?
Not the outside people.
No, not yet, but
Right, I'm answering
there has
her.
been a discussion.
No, I'm saying, what she's asking,
Yes,
the basic blessings has been using the room. The people that aren't part of the church that are coming to get.
they're in the
stuff,
parking lot.
They're in the parking lot.
Yes.
Right. Well,
Now-
we're gonna change that again.
When the temperature starts dropping,
We're gonna need.
Yeah.
there has been an informal discussion about bringing them in 1 at a time or 2 at a time. And then as they get their items, not touching, a person will go, Brenda and I talked about this at length. A person will go with them from our team and we'll say, okay, you want this? And they'll put it in the bag and then I guess the gloves on, they'll pass the bag or they'll take it outside. But if we're limiting, I think it's 2, maybe 3. At one time, and they would stand in the back of the room,
Well, they're
apart from
making
each
their
other
own
with
rules.
masks.
They can make their own rules.
Yes, well, I mean, that's, yeah,
There are a
we're,
lot of rules.
Yeah. well, and Brenda's a little stricter than.
Yeah, Brenda's
on the
been
rules.
very good.
Right,
Yeah.
it's a control.
Yes. So, but thanks for asking. You ready to kind of do a voting thing, or, all right, motion on the floor, as I understand it, is to reopen the Michael Hall Gym to Troop 87 and Boy Scout Troop 87 and Cub Pack 87. So we agree on the Boy Scouts and the Cubbies
In
Okay.
Michael Hall.
in Michael Hall Gym. I don't know if we can set it.
They don't go in the Brown Room.
They normally meet Thursday nights. I don't know if that's still set. No, just the gym, not the Brown Room, nothing.
And no
Just the-
food. They would always have food.
Well, yeah, but that's, I mean, the whole part of the agreement is, yeah, no food, because we're not having any sharing of any food whatsoever.
When's
So,
that gonna start?
this group we can set a date, just like we did for worship.
How long do you need to put together, or what is it called?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. Hey, Margie, do we have any groups that use a hold harmless clause? I know we talked about this before back when we closed down in March.
I have one
Yeah.
that I put together. So we have it. We just have to, it just depends who you want to give it to.
Well, if it's just the two scouts, it would be the two scout leaders.
Yeah.
And then,
So what we should probably do is just have them submit a new FUA. If they've already got one for this year, then
yeah.
we can just add that addendum.
All right, I think Tom might have sent me his for the Boy Scouts. We were talking a couple weeks ago.
Somebody sent one to me.
Yeah, you forwarded that to the trustees.
Oh, trustees, okay, all right.
I think it ought to be after we vacate this, the scouts come in. Because we got a lot of equipment here and,
Yes,
I agree, Bob.
okay,
and music over there.
yes.
I think it has to be vacated and then we let them in. So after
So,
the 26th,
So November,
November,
Yep, and November first, as of November first, we will.
that gives us 2.5 weeks, whatever it is to get.
all right, so at their,
it's a lot of expenses.
yes. Well, I'm saying that, yes, we can
We
take
want
care of
to
that, so set a
wait
date.
out before the scouts come in. That's my motion.
Okay, so the motion is that we allow we talk to and allow
Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts.
the Boy Scouts Troop 87, Cub Pack 87, to use the Michael Hall Gym on one night a week. Does it may or not be Thursday? One night a week.
And they would be adhering to our
our
sanitizing policies.
yes, and to fill a hold harmless clause too.
Yeah.
Okay, with a hold harmless clause in effect and approved, and to begin their use of the Michael Hall Gym no earlier than November 1st. No, it's got to be a little more specific than that. November 1st? I don't know what day it is.
You gotta check the doors to move the equipment up.
Well, that's it, yeah. So, well, this stays here.
So say the second. Yeah, it's gotta be no sooner than November 2nd.
Okay.
November first is Sunday.
So, all right, so we'll say beginning November 2nd. All right, so,
Does that mean bathrooms?
Yes, that would include, you can't hold bathrooms away from kids.
so, and I think they
And
do.
they're boys, they could be in the corners, I'd be okay with them using the bathroom.
All right, thanks for that. All right, so here, the motion is, I feel like we're running for Supreme Court or something, I don't know. The motion is that the Tabernacle United Church offers the Michael Hall Gym one night a week, to the Boy Scout Troop 87, Cub Scout Pack 87, and beginning November 2nd.
Beginning the week of November 2nd,
Beginning the week of November 2nd.
right?
And limited to just this.
Just the Michael Hall Gym, yes, that's why I'm saying Michael Hall Gym, because sometimes people call the whole building
And
Michael
the
Hall.
bathrooms.
And the bathrooms. The bathrooms are a part of the package deal, so, okay. So,
Second motion.
who first did? Oh, Bob first did, okay. And Tom Ankrum second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, so, that is good. You hear any of that stuff or no?
Bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces. All right, we got a semi-recording of it. I don't want to really now because we got prayer meeting at 7 o'clock, so it's 6 now. Generosity stewardship, I don't find this thing. I figured I'd put it down here. A lot of times the pastor has done it, but if the finance committee wants to have any ideas of what to do for as we plan financially for 2021 in these crazy times, I would enjoy input. I can come up with a 4-week or 3-week plan, probably use what the conference is using this year. But if the finance committee or any other people have any ideas about a generosity, I know there's trying to get away from the term stewardship because apparently it doesn't sound, you know, as fluffy as it used
I
to.
guess
So-
I'm not familiar with that, you'll have to teach me
But
what you're referring to.
because normally the tradition is 4 Sundays in November, or the last Sunday in October, and the 3 Sundays in November, we talk about people giving money we talk about the verses in the Bible that have to do with financially giving, or giving in general. And then the Sunday before Thanksgiving, people bring their card, we send out an estimate of giving cards. We don't say pledge cards anymore. Estimate of giving cards of faith, belief, faith of this is how much I would like to give for 2021, either weekly, monthly, annually, and it's a pledge between God and the person. And so in that, normally it's the Sunday before, people come up and they put their estimate of giving cards in a plate, and then that's it. But it leads up to, it was like 3 or 4 Sundays before that. And it's a way of, if we add up all the totals of pledges, of course, it's not enough to cover the budget, but it's also to have people get in their minds, look, I'm giving to the Lord.
Does this have to do with the offering envelopes, the books? I mean, is that what this is primarily?
No, that's it. I mean, this is what we've done at least every year since I've been here. I don't know if previous pastors have done it. But usually it's in November, it's stewardship month. Just look with it. And a lot of churches, it's the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And they do something special, they have a special speaker, or they've got, and the, you know, at least the 5 Novembers I've been here, we've done it. You know,
You know why? I guess I don't know, because I'm never here in November.
oh, okay. All right.
That's why I'm like, I don't.
Well, we mail out the cards, and with a letter that says, on this Sunday during worship, we will publicly, people will walk up, we'll have a song playing, and we'll, you know, the message will be geared towards that, and make an invitation. People come forward and
In the pledge.
give a pledge, and I don't know, the stream of people that come forward. It's just, you know, it's not just people sitting in their seats; they're actually coming up and putting them, and many of them are doing it with a smile on their face. So that's why I'm saying the generosity plan, meaning, what do we talk about those 4 Sundays? I mean, I want to lay it out because we're here. So you get my mind flowing too. All right, Advent Christmas. I've been a part of a couple of conference Zoom meetings about Advent and Christmas. They say now is the time to plan. But whatever, if we're meeting next door, okay. Of what to do for the day before Christmas or Christmas Eve, if we're talking about having a certain number of people in that room, which is another thing we have to find out what 25% of there is. I know we're not going to reach that. Well, I pray the Lord that we will, but New Jersey still has a 25% rule. And I know here the max, this 25% would be 63. So we've got to keep that in mind for the scouts. But I don't know, I guess it would be more over there. I'm thinking, just because of this. I know, but I haven't been over there because somebody put a sign on the front door that said, don't go in. So anyway, so Advent Christmas. I mean, I can come up with a Sunday morning worship and music and that plan, but we got to think of if that's the time, Christmas and Easter. Easter was online this year, but Christmas, if we're over there next door, we could do something. And we have 2 services in the same space on the same night. Do we have 1 service total? Some of places are saying have one the night before and the night of Christmas. I mean, but that's something we got to start thinking about that, because it is a time of welcoming. It is a time of invitation. These crazy times. Look, we're opening up our building, the sanctuary, a month before Christmas, month plus. And, you know, to get excited about, hey, we're open now, you know, either come or maybe in many cases come back.
Also, Christmas is on a Friday,
Okay.
so it's a 3-day weekend.
It's still the 25th, right?
Excuse me?
It's still the 25th?
It's still 25th.
Okay.
But it's on a Friday.
So, thank you. So we need to think about that. So, anyway, I'll leave that. That's it. No more to go for. You want to talk, you can chat. So, motion to adjourn.
I'll contact Bo
Okay.
and I don't know his schedule, but ask him if he's coming here Sunday. If he is, after the church service, we'll meet with you.
For a brief time, because I still have the internet service next
It's
door.
at 11 o'clock,
Yeah, so,
15 minutes.
okay, all right. May not even need that, you never know, right?
Yeah, just let us know.
But you'll talk to him on the phone.
Yeah, but you can tell off because what you expect.
It's seating and mask wearing. That's the two main things.
We ask him what,
Mask and helping people know where to sit. That's it.
are there gonna be bulletins?
No bulletins, we're not doing paper, no, just like this, I shouldn't have done this for the paper.
No bulletins.
For now,
I'm confused about the paper.
okay,
I'm
I,
really confused about that.
okay.
Because if I go to a restaurant, they don't give me a menu anymore. They give me a sheet of paper that I'm gonna take and
Oh,
it's just like a normal church bullet. So why people?
And disposable, I can answer him. What a lot of the restaurants are actually doing is QR codes on their phone.
I know, I've seen that.
But if they have a menu, it is simply a disposable one
Okay.
page paper. So it's no different than bulletin.
I think part of it is,
She's not here.
she's right here.
No, I'm saying she's not here to do.
That's what I'm saying, I mean, all the stuff that she's doing to create something else and then have to print it out,
Right,
you know,
that's the challenge.
that's the challenge.
So it's not because it's paper, it's just because we don't have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, and well, again, that's what I'm still, my mind is still in March.
I
So,
think we have bulletins.
we might be able to, yes, which mainly would just be consisting of announcements.
Lower Lights met after the service this past Sunday, they can still do.
The Sunday school met.
Sunday.
They told me not to call it, Joe says he didn't want to call it Lower Lights, he wanted to call it the Adult Sunday School.
Oh, okay.
That's what he told me, the Bible study last week, so.
I'm happy to hear that.
Tradition is lower.
Yes, they met last Sunday, well, Joe was ill the week before, but, so this last Sunday was the first Sunday. So,
They'll still meet in the.
they can meet in the sanctuary, yeah. I figure if you give me 3 hours here with the scouts, they can meet. So, okay, motion to adjourn? All right, Tom, motion to adjourn, second, I don't know, second. All right, Barb, second, all right, all in favor, say aye. And opposed, you can stay. Abstentions, I don't know. Okay. Did you vote yes to adjourn?
I'm not allowed to vote.
Oh, you're not allowed to vote? How am I allowed to vote? I'm paid staff, okay. Yes?
I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that I was going to be out of commission and not be back in the office.
Okay. Then you put something like that in the news. I mentioned something on Sunday a little bit.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did put it in the bulletin.
And then on 11 o'clock I did it and I put it on the recording. If people watch it, I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
I put it in the newsletter too,
Okay.
both of them.
All
But I know I heard something about bulletins.
Yes, bulletins.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be using bulletins right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
But I'll continue to send the newsletters.
Margie, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Why can't we use bulletins?
It's just not recommended by the conference. No,
I think we should verify. How do we verify that? Because I don't think that's accurate anymore. 'Cause
all right, I can go on and check, but I'm not going to be able to do it.
No, well, that's a different story. But the
Yeah.
fact, I think we can because it's disposable paper is the only thing you're supposed to do. You can't use repeatable touch items.
I think because of somebody,
Passing them out.
I guess, touching them and handing them to
That's
somebody else,
Oh,
or
just-
even
Yes, yeah.
even the person who's preparing the bulletins and then setting them there for other people to pick up.
Yeah, so we're
It's
back
just a
on.
touch situation.
All right. Well, I mean, you can't do it anyway, so I guess it's irrelevant.
Yeah, I can't do it anyway,
Yeah,
but I'll continue to do the newsletters.
Have you been the newsletter you've been doing?
Yeah,
You've been doing that.
But she prints about 16.
Oh, I
yeah, I mail out about 16 copies.
But
Okay.
she prints them at home
Oh, that's
and mails
fine.
them out from home.
No, I see it online.
Yeah.
I got it online.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Thank you, Margie.
But I'm gonna be out of commission until,
December something.
I don't know how I'm gonna feel in January. I just gotta wait and see.
You'll
Because
be
I'm
good.
having both knees
I'm
done.
gonna get you a wheelchair and we're gonna push
I
you.
got a wheelchair.
We're gonna push you around.
You need a Segway. You want a Segway?
Right now, I can walk from the bedroom to the kitchen, and that's about it. I can walk to the house, to the car.
You can't make it to the bathroom?
Huh?
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I said, what,
Are
you
you
can't make it
being
to
bad?
the bathroom?
Well, you
I
gotta
can
make,
go to the bathroom.
you gotta make sure that you clean the bathroom after each use. That's what it says. Hey, if
Yeah,
he can
I have
say
a
it, he can say
bathroom
it, I
next
can.
to my
Okay.
bedroom for a reason.
Well,
Bye.
Hi, Betty.
all right.
Bye and bye.
This is our touch, right? Okay.
All right, I'm gonna zoom off.
Okay, all right, zoom off. Just say bye, everybody,
Bye,
okay?
Margie. See
Hi,
you.
Shandi.
Okay, all right, bye-bye. I'll be
All right,
back
you'll
on in an
send-
hour,
You'll
Bye-bye.
send me a copy of the minutes.
if I remember.
You have to.